Morning, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Love 500, welcome back to a returning project. If you can see the registration number there, you will know what this car is. This was Project Ryvita from 2023, which was sold to Abby, sold a car to her sister Grace, and then sold this car to Abby. Her dad gave me a call and told me that the car had been in an accident and would I be able to repair it. Let me just quickly tell you what happened, and then we'll show you the car, and then we're going to go straight into it and get on with it. Right, so what happened was, as I say, I got a call from her dad, Dave, said someone's pulled out and smashed into the car. Do I think I could repair it? So I said, well, send me some pictures, which he did. And I said, I'm gonna have to come and have a look. So I went and had a look and guesstimated as to what I needed. And I said, it's gonna be 100 quid for this, 150 quid for that, blah, blah, blah. I'm charging £250 to repair this car, which is next to nothing. And no, you don't know about this, but I repaired Grace's car again after she'd made a great hole in the side of it. I've never uploaded that video. I will do at some point, but this one's now got to be repaired. So I told him this is the amount I reckon roughly it's going to come to. Bit of a guesstimate. So he went away and he said, right, they've claimed responsibility. The other party's insurance company have asked me to get a proper quote from a body shop. I'll go off and do that. So we did that. I didn't hear from him for the best part of a month, and I thought, okay, then maybe he's not going to do it. Maybe they decided to let it go. So I kept looking out for it on Copart just in case it came up. Then out of the blue, he sent me a text, and he sent me a PDF file of the body shop's quotation. Now I won't tell you what that quotation is until the end of this video, but you will be absolutely amazed. I'll go through it with you with a fine-tooth comb and you can see what the body shop quoted. You will not believe it. So, again, I won't tell you what I've guesstimated this to be. I'm only slightly over budget. I'm about £150 over what I guesstimated it's going to be. I suppose I need to show it to you, don't I? So they got paid out by the insurance company. Again, I'll come on to what they got paid out at the end of the video, and then they bought it back from the insurance company. So if you're ever thinking of doing this, this is a good video to watch at the end, because I will tell you, this video will probably end up being 2 videos, I think. I don't think it'll be any more, hopefully only 2. And on the end of the last video, once it's finished, I'll give you all those figures. So stay tuned, watch this, watch the next one, and we'll come on to all of those figures and give you an idea of, if you crash your car, what you can buy it back for, what you can get it repaired for, and what the insurance company or what the body shop say it's going to cost. Let me show you the damage. Okay, straight into it. So as you can see, so just as a quick reminder, this had a new bonnet. Sorry, no, it didn't have a new bonnet. I painted this bonnet because it had loads of rust marks on it. So I rubbed that all down, I painted that. This wing, I think, had previously been replaced, which is a slightly different colour to the rest of the car. Now, this is part of what the problem might potentially be. I put on a brand new bumper, which I painted, which has held up quite well. It looks all right, apart from the obvious. And I didn't replace this wing, but I painted it and blended it, tried to blend it in. It didn't look very good, but they were happy with it, and hopefully I'm going to be able to improve on it this time. So, as you can see, front corner smash. Let me just go through with the parts of what I looked at when I went around to look at it, what the parts are that I have bought. So, couldn't get a bumper in colour, so I bought a brand new one again. Couldn't get a wing in colour, I bought a brand new one again. Front panel. Top crash bar, bottom crash bar, new number plates, new whisker, fog light cover from that side. One's missing down that side, but I think that one's in the car. I think that's okay, the grille. If not, I've got loads of those anyway. Headlight, I bought a new headlight, I bought a new DRL, I bought a new arch liner, That in there is quite squashed in, but it is only the tip. It hasn't affected it up here. It's only the tip of it. So I bought a new tip, and then the tip of that bit, we can use the porta power to spread that out. We've done that before, so that won't be a problem. You can see that it's shifted it over when it's broken when it's bent the top panel. You can tell that by where that pipe should be straight over here. So I bought a complete rad pack. I had to buy 2 new bars because I couldn't get a rad pack with bars anywhere local that I could go and pick up. I wasn't going to travel for miles to do it. That's it basically. So I don't know whether the radiator's gone. It's holding water. I don't know whether the aircon rad has gone. Going by where that bar is, it may well be knackered. We won't know until we get the bumper off. But that's it basically. So bonnet, bumper, complete rad pack, wing tip, arch liner, headlight, DRL, all the bits of trims that are missing, as you can see here, and that's it. So it runs fine, it drives fine. I've just put the battery back in because it was completely flat when it arrived yesterday. So Dave's mate has a haulage company, transport company, and he turned up on the type of car transport, well, I won't call it a car transporter, the type of transporter that you would see with a JCB on, that type of big, massive transporter with like electric lifts and whatever you want it. Delivered it on that. We had to push it down the drive, and then I took the battery off, put it on charge, just put it back in, it's fully charged again. I haven't tried starting the car, but I'm going to do that now. As I say, it drives, apparently from the accident, was a couple of miles away from where they live, and his dad drove it home, and he said it drives absolutely fine. Windscreen as well. I don't know whether they've done this when they opened the windscreen or whether it was done in the accident, but that's all cracked there. So I've spoken to Paul, my windscreen guy, last week and said, can he please come and do a windscreen for me this week? And he said, yeah, no problem. Gave him the registration number, and I'm going to message him again now because I'm just starting this today to see if I know what day he's going to come. I have bought new hinges as well because chances are at least one of them's bent. Scuttle panel has to come off to obviously do the windscreen, so I'm going to take that all off, change the hinges, and then when Paul comes to do the windscreen, I'll leave it off, and then we can get it all adjusted afterwards. So I think the most time-consuming bit is going to be this corner, but I need to do a bit of time travel now. So what happened was, so I bought the bumper and everything. I need to order the paint. Now there are 2 shades of this paint, and I've got both of them. Not much of one shade, which is I think the lighter shade, and then I had a couple of cans of the darker shade. I think when I did this car before, and you'll see me repeat this in a minute, but I think when I did this car, I did this in the lighter shade. What I've done, and I'll show you in a minute, is I've primed the new bumper, and then I've put dark shade on one side, light shade on the other, just on the corner. So once we get this all off, we can sort of offer it up and try and match whatever colour is the one I need, and then I can order the paint today, because that's the bit that's going to slow me down. I'm going to be using 2K lacquer, which, as I've discovered when I did the Sport recently, it takes longer to go off, so I'm going to allow a good couple of days for the lacquer to go off. It's freezing cold today, as you saw. I'm wearing a hat. It's about 4 or 5 degrees. You can see the frost on the car, so it's not the ideal weather. Thank you for agreeing with me, Mr. Crow. So let me just travel back in time to the weekend. Let me show you what I did, how I did it, and then we'll crack on and get this car started. Let's go. Right, good morning. So this bit of video is being filmed before I got the car. Today is Saturday. I'm getting the car on Tuesday. So you already would have seen the walk around of the car. You've seen the car before, as we know. Because the weather's going to change next week, I can't paint this bumper and wing in its entirety because I need to be able to match the colour when I get the car. So I think I've already explained, forgive me if I have. I'm going to prime this bumper, which is currently attached to the ladder here. And then on each edge, I'm going to do 2 different colours, 2 different shades of the beige colour. And then we'll hopefully, when the car comes and we've got the new bonnet on as well, we can figure out which is going to be the best shade. Hopefully the bonnet's going to match because I bought a bonnet in colour. So fingers crossed for that. Let me turn you around and show you what we got on hanging off of the ladder. Right, so we have a pattern part. I've used these pattern parts before, they're really good. So it's a lounge. So obviously we've got the holes for the trim in there. What I've done is, because I'm painting this from scratch, what I decided to do was, on the original bumpers, you have a black rubber strip here, and then you have colour underneath. What I've decided to do on this one is just paint down to here and then have the rest of it black. So that saves me messing around painting underneath. So I've masked it all off, so I'm not going to paint that at all. So all I've done is I've keyed it up with a grey Scotch cloth, and I'm now going to prime it. I've got the heat gun on the floor down there. It's not massively cold today. It's probably about 10 or 12 degrees, so not ideal. And we're hoping, because it's autumn, of course, as you can see, leaves on the floor. What we're hoping is we don't get wind and then we get leaves blowing onto the paint. If it does, at the moment it's only primer. We'll have to have a rethink when we come to doing the top coat and the clear coat, and may have to move somewhere else. Maybe, I don't know, maybe on the, not on the drive, maybe on the patio, and put some cardboard down or something to stop any paint going on the ground. But, you know, not ideal. It's not a paint booth. I haven't got a paint booth. I can't do it in the garage, can't do it in the shed. There's nowhere I can do it apart from out here. Now, come next week, the temperature is meant to be freezing, or I say freezing, about 5 degrees. Again, you know, not ideal paint weather. We don't want to be painting that sort of temperature. So what I will do, if need be, which I've done before, is I'll put my gazebo up, put the sides on the gazebo, and then put the heater in here, in the gazebo to warm it up a bit. As it stands at the moment, just for the primer, is I'm just going to use the heat gun, warm it all up. The primer is currently sitting in a pot of hot water, just warming that up. So we'll get going on that in a minute. I've got a mask in my pocket ready to do that. Obviously I've panel wiped it a couple of times as well, so it should be grease free, mark free. Obviously we'll be blocking it down after it's been primed anyway, before we put a top coat on it, but we just want to get it as clean as we can to get the primer on anyway. So I'm going to set you up. We'll do it in, oh, a leaf just came down then out the tree. Didn't hit the bumper, but I think we might come further back actually. That might be better, because we've got the tree is there. And we've got another one. Oh, that one doesn't lose its leaves, but we've got that one there, which is where the leaves are coming from basically. So we want to try and keep that to a minimum. As I say, it's not the end of the world for the primer if a leaf does go on it, but we're going to try and avoid it at all costs. That's the first dust coat on, and already we've put a little bit too much there, but we won't worry too much about that. That will be blocked down anyway, and it's behind the number plate, so I don't quite know where. I think that's probably because I did that and then I did that vertically, and I think it's just run down. I have in the past done these bumpers on a sort of flat surface but propped up, but I much prefer doing them on a ladder like this, which is exactly how I'm going to do the wing as well this afternoon once I've done this bumper. Yeah, because what I'll do is once I've primed this, once I've got the second coat of primer on there and it's all nicely covered, I'll let it dry off. I'll take it down, let it dry for a bit longer, and then we'll get the wing up there. And then also this afternoon we'll block it down, and then we'll get those. So what I intend to do is sort of do an edge like that. I haven't actually got that much paint. I have on one of them, but I think I've got a full can on one of them almost. Right, you saw me do the underside of the wing, and now I've just done a first coat on there. I'm just going to carry on warming it. I forgot to actually warm the panel up on this one. Silly arse. Never mind. I'll do that when I put the proper paint on. I'm not painting this today, obviously, because I don't know what colour I need to be painting it, and I haven't got enough, of course, to paint it, unless it happens to be the one that I've got the lots of. Interestingly, these wings come with that little gubbins, which I didn't know. Hate those things. They're always awkward to get on. I don't know how you're actually meant to do it, but it's good that it comes with it. Obviously, we need to put in an indicator, and we need to put in the bracket on there as well, of course. But yeah, I'm quite excited about doing this. Be interested to see a wing and a bonnet using 2K lacquer. Be interesting to see how it comes out. There you go. That is all now nicely primed. Wouldn't it be useful to have a car in primer colour? If you clear coated that, would it go glossy? I suppose it would, wouldn't it? You could have a car completely in. Yeah, you don't need a base coat then. You could just leave it in primer. A bit like my Ford Puma was. If you saw my Ford Puma that I had back in 2021, click on the link above if you haven't seen it. Right, we are now all blocked down. Washed down with a hose pipe and then dried with cloth, a towel, and then dried off again with a heat gun, which will obviously warm it up a little bit as well. It's not cold to the touch, it's not warm. I'm just going to get some... Actually, I'm only going to do the bits that I'm going to paint. I'm not going to bother with the rest of it. It's pointless, isn't it? So I'm not painting it at the minute. So I'm just going to sort of paint that edge. So I'm just going to let that evaporate away. We've been warming the paint up, so let me just show you what I've got paint wise. So this has been soaking in hot water throughout the kettle, so it's quite warm. It's got to be shaken still. So what we got, I'd already written on this is from when I did the car before, 231B light and 231 beige dark. Now the dark one, if you look at the label there, the dark one, STD, dark one is the standard shade. The light one, which is I think is the one that I used, it says CG. I don't know what that stands for, and it's obviously with a highlighter pen because pointing out the fact that it's a different shade. Now I've got the dark one. I've got 2 full cans of, almost 2 full cans, which probably won't be enough to do it completely, because you're probably going to need the best part of at least a can and a half to do the bumper, and probably at least a can, if not a bit more, to do the wing. So I think I'm going to buy, well, if I have to buy one that I haven't got, I'm going to buy 4 cans. Obviously they're paying for the paint, I have to buy what I have to buy, but I think 4 cans should do it. Can and a half, can and 3/4 maybe on the bumper. Right, just to show you, I've put the gazebo up. Reason being, as I was just going to get the paint out, I could feel a little bit of, just a few little sprinkles in the air, nothing major, but I thought, you know, even though this is probably going to be rubbed down and repainted anyway, base coat I mean, I've got to put this up on Tuesday, so I thought, you know what, let's just put it up now. We might as well. Hopefully we won't get any wind and it'll blow over. I might stake it to the ground actually. Yeah, I think that's probably the best bet. Hence why it's in a little bit of shade, so I'm going to get a little bit closer to it, and then we'll actually what we'll do is we'll zoom in. So yeah, I'm just going to grab the paint. The paint's been warming up, as I say. I'm just going to grab that, and then we'll do this side and then move around to the other side. I think I'm going to do the light one on this side. Right, so as I said, I'm only going to do, there is a little bit of spray on there. That must have been a little drip from the rain that came down, so we'll just dry that off. That's it. Right, it's gone now. Okay, right, let's do this. So yeah, we're just going to go, there's not much in this can to be fair. All right, here we go, first coat. I just realised I haven't got my mask on. Right, that's the first coat. Right, so this is the dark one. Doesn't look very dark. Can afford to put a little bit more on this one. The thing is, let me just take this mask off. The thing is, you put it on. So say I think it was this dark one that I used on the car before. The thing is, you put it on, and I know I've only done one coat at the moment, but I think the colour changes when you put the clear coat on. So it's going to be an indication more than anything. But yeah, right, let me, I'll just put the heat gun over the other side, and then we'll put another coat on that, and then we'll do the same on this one, and then we'll leave it. Right, here goes coat number 2. What I'm also going to do, because obviously we're opposite ends of the bumper, aren't we, so you can't compare the two together. I'm going to find one of my old spray out cards, or actually I've got an old wing I can use. I might use an old wing and paint that, just paint patches on it. Yeah, I might do that, we'll see. Right, let's do this. I haven't got much of this left, unfortunately. Be nice if at least one of them matches. Right, I think we'll leave that at that. Don't want to use up every little bit of paint. That looks quite nice. Quite a nice finish. And then we'll do the same over the other side. We'll give the second coat on that one. And then I'll show you it close up. Right. Okay, here we go. So this is the dark one, which, as I say, I think is the one that I did on the car. When I say on the car, I mean last time I had the car. So I think this is the one that's going to match, I hope, I think. Right, I think that'll do. There we go. Oops, that's that done. Right, so we're starting to lose the light. So that's the light shade, which looks nice. We've got a lovely finish on that. Bearing in mind there's no clear coat on it yet. It's a really nice finish. They're good. I do think the cans from Paints For You are good. Really do. Okay, so that's the hope it's, oh, what's happening to the focus? It's going all doolally. Let's come out a bit, hang on. So yeah, so that looks like quite a nice finish. I think it's focusing on the grass. Whoa, doesn't know where to focus. Right, okay, that's the light. And then if we come over here, I'll show you the dark. That's a bloody fly. So that's the dark. Now I can see the difference to that. I don't know if you can through the camera, but going from left to right, you can't see it as much. So let me show you what I've done. It's focusing on the grass again. That's what I don't want to happen when I'm painting it for real. So here we have a wing off of the old wing off of Project Part X. Now hopefully you can see the difference. Yeah, you can. I'm looking through the camera. It's all running because I've just sprayed a load on it. So the top one, as you can see, is the light shade, and the one below it is the darker shade. I mean, it's still wet at the moment, but you can quite clearly see the difference. Quite clearly. So that's the reason for doing this, to try and match it to the car. Now you would have already seen the car, and I would have explained my issue with another part of the car, so I won't bother going through it now. So what we're going to do, we'll come back now. So now what we'll do is we'll go back to the car. So we'll travel back in time. No, we'll travel forward in time to when the car comes on Tuesday, potentially Wednesday. Find out what the paint is, and then get it ordered. Hopefully that all made sense. Now, when the car arrived yesterday, I did offer it up slightly, and I just couldn't tell. I think, one, the car is quite dirty, so it needs to be cleaned first before I mess around trying to match the paints. But what I've got is I've got a red wing, and I've got a blue bumper, and I'm going to use those for me test fitting. Once I know they're fitting properly, then we can, you know, once it's painted and what have you, and we've got it in the right colour, hopefully, we can get them all on afterwards. But to start with, we need to get all of the front panel off, the wing off, the bumper off, get it all stripped down, make sure there's no other damage underneath, assess whether we need anything else. All the parts I've got, they've all come. Some of them are in the back of one of the other cars, some of them are in the garage, some of them are in the garden. I'm hoping we don't need the radiator, because that'll be a little bit cheaper for them and it'll be quicker and easier for me as well. So let's crack on. Let's get it all off. I'll set you up on time lapse. I'm going to take the wing off, the bumper off, the front panel off, all on time lapse, and then we'll come back. That's it, all off. Whew. That was a job and a half. I think going back to the original videos on this car when I bought this, I think I put a new bumper on it, didn't I? Because the bumper was all the bumper tabs that went in were all split and it wouldn't sit properly. So that's the reason I didn't change the front panel or anything on here. Those bolts were the most tightest. You saw me with the breaker bar on some of them. Could not get them undone. It's quite clearly the original front panel, original bars. Not anymore. They are a mess. Look at them. Yeah, but radiator has survived. The aircon conditioner's got a couple of the bits hanging out of it, but I think it's going to be all right. What I'll do is, once I've got it all back, because obviously that just goes on the front, so it's not an issue. Once I've got it all back together, I'll test the aircon as best as I can when you've got freezing temperatures. The sunny weather is a bit deceiving because it is cold, although I am actually quite hot because I'm doing this. I was contemplating even taking my hat off, but yeah, all stripped down now, which is good. Obviously the worst part of it is that, but we did that on, can't remember which car it was, we did it quite recently actually. It's all bits of headlight there. I did wonder when I got it yesterday whether it had shifted this or not, but it doesn't appear to have. It's not damaged anything there. It's literally, it's not even hit that. It's just bent it slightly in. So it was more there. So hopefully that chassis leg hasn't moved. It doesn't look like it has, but it's always a bit difficult to tell when you're looking at them. You won't really know until you offer up the new panel. I don't think it's moved, but obviously we'll get around it if it has. Yeah, not bad, is it? Not bad. That's probably taken me, deceiving, probably less than an hour and a half, I think. Yeah, probably about an hour, actually. I didn't time it. I should have done. I don't even know what the time is, although I don't know what time I started, so it's irrelevant. But yeah, that's a good start. As you can see, that hasn't broken because it had been previously repaired by me with glued and screwed, which is why it's still intact, which is good. Also, I could tell that that front panel had never been off before, or by me. It's because there was no grease. See, that would have been a lot easier to undo had it been greased. I did notice when I had the engine running earlier that the ABS light is up, and what I have found here is broken wire, or 2 broken wires. So I've got to try and figure out where they go. Not sure where they go, but we'll find out. ABS sensor somewhere, there's one end of it. Where's the other end? Don't know. We'll find it. It's obviously just broken it when it's hit. But yeah, everything's good under here. Shocks are all good. We'll get all that glue off of there. As I say, I've got a spare red wing, which is a really crappy one, which is a straight one, just to offer that up to get it all in position. My phone went while I was doing this. I'm hoping it might be the windscreen man telling me when he's going to come, or asking me when he wants me to come. So I better have a look at that message. But yeah, going well. So I think what we'll do, first thing we'll do, I think, is get the new front panel on. If we come out and... that was the old bonnet I've just tripped over. What we're going to do, that's the new front panel, which has already got the pegs on it. It's a lot easier. You saw me drill those pegs out to take the radiator out. It's a lot easier getting the radiator in without those pegs. I'm just wondering whether I've got a front panel without the pegs. I've got several front panels. I've got a complete one there, look. But that's for another project, which is parked out the front. Had I been doing the radiator and everything as well, I probably would have used that one. But if we have to drill them out, we can always screw them back on again. It's just a lot easier to do it when you've when you're putting it in without those pegs. But we'll give it a go. Again, doing it on your own doesn't help either. It's a lot easier if you've got someone helping you. But that's it. So I think what we'll do, again, I'm going to do a lot of this. I don't normally do lots and lots of time lapse. But I think with this one, I don't want this video to be too long, and I don't want to go into too many videos. I'd say I'm hoping to get this entire car done in 2 videos. So we won't carry on waffling. We will set it up on time lapse again and put the front panel on, and then we'll get the porta power out and we'll start straightening that up, and then we can offer a new wing up. That's the front back on. I've got to do the bolts up on the top still. They're just being held in by one bolt. Actually, I'll release that one because I need to tap that up, don't I? That one. So we'll do that first. But it seems to all line up. The only thing I was worried about was whether that leg had gone up or sideways. It seems fine. All the holes. So I don't know if you could tell on time lapse. What I did is I got that one in the right position first, bolted up, or loosely bolted up, and then the bottom bar, I got that one because I know the bottom's okay, and then I did the bottom on that side, so I knew that was okay, and then that told me that when I did those up, they were in the right place. I don't know if that makes sense at all, but so I did it diagonally, if you like, bottom bar one side, top bar the other side, and obviously I jacked it up. I did have to jack it up a little bit more that side, but that's probably just because the car's up in the air, isn't it? I imagine that's probably why. So the car's not level. Because when I did that, I thought, oh, it's not going to be the right height that side. That's why I did that bottom one first. So because I know that one was in the right place, obviously that means the top one's in the right place. So it should be straight. We'll soon find out once we get the bonnet on, of course. But yeah, no, I am confident that it's all good. So what else are we going to do? So yeah, got to tighten the top down, and I think what we'll do then, as I said before, we'll get the porta power out, and we'll do that a bit live. And then I've got a red wing here, which you may recognise that I bought for another car, and it's such a load of old shit that I never ever used it. So I thought I'll keep it one day when I need a wing and I'm going to paint one, preferably a red one, because I didn't want to paint this one. I wanted to get a new wing for this one. It's not always the best thing painting red another colour, even though you're obviously rubbing it down, priming it, and that. It's so they say you shouldn't really do that. So yeah, so that's that. I think what we'll do then is we'll put this headlight. Wish that bloody dog would shut up. We'll put the this headlight back in. Put the horn back on. Put the bonnet catch back on. Once we've got that in the right place and we've got a wing on, and I'm happy with it, we'll then take the scuttle panel off and get the hinges changed. And then obviously we can put the bonnet on. The bonnet, I don't expect the bonnet to fit straight away. You know, it's going to take lots of jiggery pokery. But obviously, as I said, I'm going to leave the scuttle panel off because of the windscreen. So actually, I'm going to text the windscreen fella now and just see if we can figure out when he is going to come. Ideally tomorrow. But yeah, I'm just going to tighten these screws down, the bits we need to do, and then we'll come onto the wing and we'll get that back into shape. All right, so headlights in nicely, fits nice as it should. I mean, obviously depending on the position of the front panel, which seems to be okay. Horns back on. We've put this temporary wing on, which is only roughly just on, not, you know, no proper gaps or anything like that, but obviously it needs to move forward a little bit, but it sort of lines up there. So I will move it forward a little bit. And then what we need to do is, as we can see there, oh actually I've got to put the bracket on as well, haven't I? I've got to screw that bracket on, but we can see straight away that is bent. So it's also got to straighten up as well, like push up and also out. At least I think it's got to push out, but it's certainly got to push up here. That end has got to push up. So actually I might not actually even need the jaws. I'm actually wondering whether it's just hit it and bent it up. And what I should have done is look to the other side. I could have compared the other side, shouldn't I, on the gap? But actually that gap doesn't look that big, and I think it might be deceptive because we haven't actually got the bracket on. So we'll push that up and get that straight first, and then we'll go from there. But I'll do it with the wing on, I think, because that might be easier. So yeah, let's just try that. I'm going to stick you up on a tripod, and hopefully you might be able to see what I'm doing. Right. Okay, so I'm just going to try it first of all with this, see what happens. So I'm going to push it sort of in the middle. I haven't got the handle screwed on, sort of in the middle. I don't want to just push it at the edge. I'm going to do it gently and then move along. But yeah, I mean, it might be bent in a little bit, but it ain't a lot. Right, turn the valve closed. Here we go. See what we can do. I suppose don't really know until we actually get the other bracket on. There we go. Right. It's just pushing that head back on properly where it should go. Here we go. It's going to lift the car as well, of course, to a degree. Right, that is pushing that. So let's just release the valve. I think we'll now go onto the edge and push that. So I might pull that bracket out a little bit. Yeah, see, it's bending up, so I'll have to actually knock it down as well. So it's bending the whole thing up and out. So the jaws will probably have to... Let's just grab the hammer just to knock it down a little bit. Where's the hammer gone? There it is. Yeah, I think I will get the jaws on there, you know. All right, now we just push that out. There you go. That's pushing that out. It is pushing the side bit in a little bit as well, but again, we can just push that out. So I think what we need to do now, a little bit more. That's probably going to spring back a bit. Yeah, which it did. Yeah, it's better though. Do a little bit more. Go further than it needs to. Oh, that's better. That's better. But I feel now that the bottom of it, don't know. I think what we need to do is take that wing off. Actually, no, I can put the bracket on without taking that wing off. Let me just get that in there for a second. Push that up a little bit, which helps to straighten that bottom bit out. So we might actually be too far out now. I'm not sure. So yeah, let's get the I'm going to get the bracket on. You know what? It's probably not good to film this because you can't actually see what I'm doing because you're just looking at the wing, aren't you? But I'm going to get it. I'm going to try and get it in a good place, and then we'll come back. Look at that. It fits. Oh, it only fits. Now we don't know how it's going to fit with a bonnet, of course. That remains to be seen. But I did adjust. Again, it's not going to be the proper gap, but I did adjust it a little bit there. But, and of course, this isn't the wing that's going on it, but it's actually fitting quite nicely. Yeah. You know what I did is the holes on the top of that bracket, the one that you screw on, I made them a little bit longer. I folded them down, made them a little bit longer so I could slide the bracket slightly further forward. Yeah, it's worked. This side doesn't go in properly. The only reason that is because I think I don't know why actually. I don't know if there's something in the way there, but it will screw in okay. It's just I mean that side was in fine before anyway, but I mean it might be just because the arch liner's getting in the way or something, but don't know. But I'm not concerned about that side. It's this side, isn't it? As you can see there. Oh, nicely. I'm well pleased with that. Well pleased. Yeah. I have really been struggling trying to figure out which colour's which. Now this is the darker one. Looking back at my videos, I think I used the lighter one before. We've got some bloody runs in this. Damn it. We'll have to polish those out. They should polish out alright. But apart from that, it's a lovely finish. This has just had the final wet coat on. But now a bloody fly's just landed on it, for heaven's sake. I should have put the sides up, shouldn't I, to try and keep the flies out. You just can't be off it, can you, when you're painting outside? I managed to get the fly out from the bumper on that other car. But yeah, that's really a nuisance, that is. But I mean, it looks lovely. It's whether it's the right colour. It just looks too dark to me. But the light looks too light. So when I look at this looks much lighter, but the car looks about the same. But I've put the light, and now this wing is definitely light. So this is bearing in mind this bonnet is just put there. It's not even on the brackets, so don't worry about where it is. I just literally placed it there for colour. This wing is definitely lighter. I think at some point this car has been blown in at the side, because that is definitely lighter, and as you come to the back of the car it seems to get darker. The car is dirty, that doesn't help. But what we did on this one, when we had the old bonnet on, which looks nothing like that colour, nothing like it, we did part of this and it showed up against that wing. Now that now that door looks the same as that to me. But I've got a feeling what I've just painted is the wrong colour. As far as I know, there's only the 2 shades of this colour. But when you look at, I don't know if you can see it, that looks different to that. This has definitely been replaced at some point. Not by me last time, but I think it's been replaced at some point. But it's not a million miles out, but it's definitely, that I would say that's more grayer. And I think that is what I was trying to match before when I used the light one. So if that is darker, I'm hoping, even if it means I have to paint that, which I probably won't, because it doesn't look awful. And if I paint that, then of course that will show up against the door. So, you know, you end up respraying the whole frigging car with an aerosol can. So I wanted to get that done so I can compare it later on. So once it's all dried off nicely, I'm not going to put it on, it's going to go in the garage. But I don't know what to do about ordering paint. The trouble is it's delaying me a day. Because if I order the paint now, I will probably get it tomorrow. Well, I will get it tomorrow. If I don't order it tomorrow, then I don't get it till Friday, which means I can paint it Friday, but then I can't get it on Friday, which means I will run into Monday next week, which I didn't really want to do. Although there are other things I want to do on the car, like the Blue and Me doesn't work. I believe I wanted to do that, and I've still got to get other bits and pieces done on it anyway. So it's not the end of the world to not have the bumper on. We'll have a bumper on to protect it from the weather, but not the bumper. Let me just show you again. It is difficult to visualise because it's under shadow under here, and it's brand new paint, which is clean. Oh, those runs are really annoying me now. Luckily they'll polish out. This is the 2K lacquer. Beautiful finish, really, really lovely finish. I mean, it's wet at the moment, obviously, so it's uber shiny. But yeah, it's just such a lovely, lovely finish. It does seem more runny than the 1K. Very rarely get runs in a 1K, but both times I've used the 2K, I've got runs. Never mind, as I say, they will polish out. So I'm just going to leave this under here for a good couple of hours or so, and then I'm going to hold it up to the car. By that time it is too late, because it's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon now, and it'll probably be dark in 2 hours time. So I can't really I can't really do very much more today. Apart from getting that scuttle panel off and changing those bonnet hinges. I can do that. And then I suppose I can put bonnet on, can't I? Put it on properly, not to fit it properly, but just to get it on. But yeah, just wanted to show you that. So I'll keep looking back at the car, and it just looks lighter on the car. As I say, it is in shade here, so we'll see. So I have left that under the gazebo to dry. I'm going to leave it there for at least another hour before I move it into the garage. But before I do that, I want to try and hold it up against here just to see what it's like. I've taken the bonnet off again, as you can see. Reason being, I am going to take the scuttle panel off and get the hinges changed. Just thought I'd show you this. There's like an ecosystem growing in there. Probably never gets jet washed. If it ever gets washed, it probably ends up going through a bleeding car wash, I expect. You know what people are like. Can't be bothered to wash cars themselves, busy lives and all that. Right. The hinges are not tightened up properly, but we're not far off, and it's closing as well. Obviously, there's a massive gap this side. We're not worried about that. We'll cross that bridge as and when. I mean, this isn't all screwed up properly. This is quite loose in there still, so I'm not worried about that. There's manipulation. It's bound to need manipulation. Bound to. But yeah, as I say, we'll worry about that once we've actually got the wing on. The wing's got to push in still. But yeah, it's what I did find is the little arm that side was a bit high. Bearing in mind it's a second-hand one. So what I did is I got that block of wood and that cloth and that hammer. and I bashed it down to flatten it out a little bit. It looked a bit high, and of course, because there's no headlight in there, I couldn't actually tell that it wasn't. I'm not going to bother putting a headlight in just yet. But yeah, it's closed. We have to hope it's actually going to open. Needs adjustment, but of course, as we know, the hinges are not in the right place. Right, I'm just holding it at the back. Oh, let's have a look. Oh, Jesus, put my finger on it. You know what? I think it matches. I think it matches. Oh, that is fantastic. That is really, really good news. Still quite wet though. It really takes a long time to dry this 2K. Yeah, it does. It matches. Oh, I'm trying desperately not to damage anything. Yeah, I'm looking at the wing, I'm looking at the door, I'm looking at the bonnet, and it matches. Oh, that is fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic. Now I've got 2 cans of this, so I can do the bumper tomorrow. Oh yeah. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to get this wing on. I'll polish it once it's on the car, I think. I'm going to get it on, and then we can adjust the bonnet. Oh, fantastic. We're going to almost get this done in 2 days. It's only the waiting for things to dry that are delaying me. Oh, that's really good news. Really, I don't know if you can see the finish on this. This is absolutely spectacular. It is so shiny. It's so glossy. That 2K from Pro XL is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Well pleased. Right, I'm going to pack up now because it is fast getting dark. So I'll be back in the morning. We'll get this wing on, and then we'll probably do then is wrap this video up, and then we'll go into the second one to finish off. So I'll see you in the morning. Okay, so I put the video together last night. It's getting a bit long, so all I'm going to do, I'm going to clean it. We're going to get the wing on, just not in any great, fit, but just want to get it on, verify from what I did last night that it matches. And then what we'll do, then we can then get the bumper painted. So not the ideal weather for painting. What I've done, I've taken both the wing and the bumper indoors, just to let them warm up a little bit in the warmth indoors, and then we'll get that bumper painted as soon as the bumper is okay to handle, which will probably be lunchtime-ish. Then I'll take that indoors to help it dry. But yeah, it's going to be a tricky one, but yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And then tomorrow, what we'll do then tomorrow is we'll polish the wing, and we'll also polish the bumper and get it on. Right, there you go, it's on. As I say, not in position. Now, it matches, I would say, almost exactly the bonnet, which of course is off of a different car. It is different to the door, but that is not the light shade of the door. So the fact that it matches the bonnet, I am happy with. It probably looks in fact, it does look much worse through the camera. It always does. But yeah, although it is different, and it's brand new paint, of course. But then again, the bonnet's not brand new paint, and it does almost pretty much match that exactly. Exactly. It is wet at the moment, actually, but no, it is definitely different to the door. You can see the difference. It is possible that this door's been blown in at some point as well, But because it seems to match to that. So that makes me think that at some point in its life it has had a paint job on that door. But that is good. Again, I know I'm always banging on about this since I've been using this 2K. It's like those runs have pretty much disappeared. Got the fly that I've got to polish out just there. But it's pretty much flawless. I've had stuff from the body shop that's not been as good as that. Honestly, it's incredible. When you think that's come out of an aerosol can in about 5 degrees, it's amazing. So we got to adjust the fit because we're not far out here. So we've got to adjust the fit of the wing. Even if the wing, it means the wing's got to push in a little bit. So it might have to be on and off, on and off, on and off to get it to fit properly, or as best we can. But don't forget the bonnet hinges are not done up anyway yet. So it's going to take a bit of jiggery pokery once we get it all back together anyway. But I am now I'm suitably happy with that. And don't forget, so the bonnet, the wing, and the bumper are going to match. So that is good news, even if the door's slightly different and this wing round here is slightly different as well. But not massively, not massively. This is not too bad. It is different again, but not too bad. That's actually the worst, to be honest, with that door. But as I say, please don't think it looks like it does through the camera, because it really doesn't. It's not as bad as that. Now I could paint the door, but I'm not going to do that. That's just above and beyond. You know, if at some point I say to him, look, I think the door's had a blowover at some point in the past, so there is a paint difference between the door and the front. If you want me to do that in a future date, then I'll do it. But then you get to the end of the door, and then you've got the rear quarter, which is going to be different. I can't paint the whole car. That's just silly. But once that's on, it's staying on properly. I mean, once on properly. But I'm going to cover it up tonight, because it's only been, well, it's painted less than 24 hours ago, so I'm not going to polish it today. I'm going to polish it in the morning. But I just want to try and leave it as long as possible. I'm going to cover it up tonight to keep any frost off of it. I don't want frost getting to it and damaging that clear coat. I'm going to give it a good couple of days before to protect it. So I'm just going to put something over it tonight, just to protect it. I'll put I've got like a fleece liner thing that the bumper came in, and then I'll put some polythene over the top of that just to try and protect it from the elements overnight. So that's it. I am going to wrap this video up now, and then we'll move on to the second one. Yeah, and hopefully we'll get it finished tomorrow and in that second video. So I hope you're enjoying this one. I'm quite enjoying doing it, actually, and I don't feel like I'm pressured under the clock to get it finished, because I think I've got plenty of time to get it finished. As I say, windscreen's being done tomorrow. I've got the rest of the day today, and I've got tomorrow as well. Ideally, I've got another car that I want to take, Project Part X, which is finished. I need to take it and get tracking done, and I haven't had time to do that because I've been doing this. So hopefully I can go and take that tomorrow, and then that one can go up for sale. But yeah, it's going really well on this. So far, so good. I'm really pleased. Let's wrap up. Don't forget, if you are not a subscriber, please hit that button, subscribe to the channel, and give us a thumbs up. We'll see you on day 2, which will be next week, because I can't keep you waiting any longer. And then on day 2, I will be revealing what they bought it for, what they got from the insurance, what the quote was for the repair from the body shop, and what they bought it back from the insurance company for, and how much it's cost for me to repair it. All of that will come at the end of the next video, so don't forget to watch. Until the next time, thanks for watching. As always, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you soon.